Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are located. Thank you all so much for joining Railbookers for today's exciting presentation. Folks, any questions that you may have during today's presentation, please feel free to type those away in your question box located on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will save time to answer any questions that you may have at the end of today's presentation. And speaking of at the end, definitely stay tuned, folks. We have an exciting special offer that we're going to be giving to each and every one of you that would like to take advantage of it. And we will be announcing that at the end. Today's presentation is scheduled to be about 25 to 30 minutes, so I hope you could join us all the way through. Please be sure to check that your device speakers are unmuted. And with that in mind, let's get started. Today, folks, we are here to talk about the top 5 destinations to visit by rail. And so excited to be here for each and every one of you here today. Now, lots to cover in today's presentation. So again, thank you for being here. Now, for those of you who may not be as familiar with Railbookers, folks, we are part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands, and lots of great rail trips, not only throughout Europe, but also around the world. And that's something to keep in mind, which is great. So just wanted to mention that to everyone. All right, folks, real quick, for those of you joining us, if you'd be so kind to type in a quick yes. Are you able to hear me? For those of you joining, in your question box on the right-hand side of your screen, if you could type in a quick yes. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Okay, so today, again, we appreciate all of you being here. So for those of you who may not be as familiar with Railbookers, we are part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. And if you look on the left-hand side, as you can see, our sister brand is Amtrak Vacations. So for any of you that want to get away, whether it's a quick 3, 4, 5-day weekend, week-long getaway right here in your own backyard in the United States, or maybe even a cross-country trip, including the beautiful national parks, well, that's Amtrak Vacations. For any of our trips throughout Canada, Europe, and around the world, including even in Alaska by rail, well, that's Railbookers. And the best part is, for any of you that want to get out of your homes as early as today, did you know you can travel from today with our sister brand, Amtrak Vacations, right here in the United States, all the way up to 2023 around the world with Railbookers? And the way we're able to do this and offer this opportunity for all of the great travelers out there is we have direct rail partnerships with not only the local trains, but also the high-speed trains, the luxury trains, the iconic trains. Many of them are listed right here. Now, there's so many reasons why travelers love traveling with Railbookers. If you look in the top left-hand corner, when you plan and you book your trip, you or your local travel advisor, however you decide to book, is speaking to one of our rail experts live on the phone who know the rail, the best routes, the best times. As I mentioned, you can book and travel from today all the way to 2023. Now, we do have a maximum flexibility offer going on right now, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in just a little bit. We also have the largest rail vacation selection, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, from luxurious multi-country journeys, extending your cruises, to even creating custom rail itinerary, because no rail trip is too complicated for us. Now, with our maximum flexibility offer, folks, this is a great special we have going on until the end of this month, and only until the end of this month. And what this means is, once you have made a new reservation and you book your trip with a small deposit of only $250 per person, as long as you book before the end of this month to travel anytime this year, next year, or even into 2023, once you have deposited, if you did need to change or postpone your trip, whatever the reason is, we are waiving any and all change and cancellation fees. Basically, in a nutshell, folks, we are overriding our cancellation and change policy, basically allowing each and every one of you to enjoy the freedom to change your dates, duration, or even the destination of your vacation after you have booked without any penalty. All right. Now, if you take a look at this map, folks, this is the rail network across Europe. And you see all those colorful lines? Those represent all the different trains in Europe. And what I always like saying is none of those trains actually talk to each other. It's one of many reasons why when you travel with Railbookers, we take care of way more than just your rail tickets. Everything from rail, hotel, meals, sightseeing tours, activities, even theater shows in some countries, a one-stop shop. Now, do you know in the year 2019, over 1 billion people traveled throughout Europe? It's pretty fascinating and amazing. Train travel in Europe is truly a way of life. Now, for any of you looking to travel in the near future, just like it is here in the United States, facial coverings would be required on board the trains at the train stations for both passengers and staff. On some of the trains, they have stopped the sale of food and drinks on board. However, for any of you that have been to Europe or certainly traveled by train in Europe, many of the train stations have their own little restaurants, cafes, bakeries, or certainly there's restaurants, bakeries, cafes within walking distance of the train station that you can certainly purchase before boarding. In some cases, they've changed the seating configuration and allocation. They also have increased cleaning and sanitation protocol, contactless ticket control. So when you book with us or through your local travel advisor, you will get everything electronically, your electronic tickets, your electronic documents through email that you could certainly print if you'd like to have paper copies on your own if you choose, but just a nice way of making it nice and easy. All right, let's talk about these 5 exciting trips, starting out with our package known as Explore Bavaria and the Romantic Road. Now, if you look at the map, folks, on the right-hand side, you see all those dotted lines? Those represent all the different trains. The line in blue, dark blue, that means you are having a guided day tour out to Neuschwanstein Castle, and that would be in a full deluxe motor coach. Now, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and a round circle, that just tells you how many nights you're overnighting in each of these great areas. And as I mentioned at the beginning of today's presentation, any trip can be customized and personalized just the way you would like. So if you want to add days in any particular cities, if you want to add additional cities when you're in Germany or any other country, or if you want to take out days, if you're trying to stay within a certain amount of days or price point, you certainly have that option and ability to do that. So let's move into this package. And again, folks, any questions you may have, please feel free to type those away. We will save time to answer any questions that you have at the end of today's presentation. Now, this package happens to start in Munich, and with Railbookers, as I mentioned, we can pretty much book most of everything with the exception of flights. So certainly you have the ability to book your flights, or even better, booking through your local travel advisor, who not only can book any of these packages, but can also book any flights. And in this case, flying you into the great city of Munich. Now, as I mentioned, you do have a full day guided tour out to Neuschwanstein Castle. And if any of you have ever been to Walt Disney World, you may, of course, notice that beautiful castle in Walt Disney World. Well, guess what, folks? This is the inspiration for the castle in Walt Disney World. This is the authentic and actual castle that the castle in Disney World was inspired by, the Neuschwanstein Castle. Now, on this trip, you'll also have an opportunity to visit some of those great little towns and cities and villages, such as Augsburg. This is one of Germany's oldest cities, where again, you'll have some free time to explore and visit some of the great little cafes and boutique stores along the way. This trip also includes Würzburg, which is in the Bavarian region, known for its Baroque architecture. From there, it's off to Rothenburg, which is located in the northern portion of Bavaria, almost like a medieval style architecture with cobblestone streets. And from there, it's off into Nuremberg, which happens to be Germany's 2nd largest city behind Munich, with a population of over 500,000 people. So if Germany is on your wish list, keep that in mind. Now, another package within our top 5, Scotland. And here is our complete Scotland by rail. And this is a real treat, folks, because when you travel to Scotland, get ready for those beautiful rolling green hills, even some large mountains as well. Now, Edinburgh, or Edinburgh, however you pronounce it, such a great city. Again, you take your flights either on your own or through your local travel advisor, who can book any of these packages, and we'll take care of the rest with your travel advisor. Now, on this trip, we do include the Jacobite steam train. So if we do have any Harry Potter fans joining us today, This train may look familiar. This is the inspiration behind Harry Potter, and certainly the train that was featured in the movie. Now, the Jacobite steam train, this is considered a 3.5 to 4 star, 3.5 to 4 diamond train. Now, my suggestion, consider upgrading to first class. Not only on this trip, but any trips you're considering in Europe, always consider upgrading to first class or even business class, because not only is there less travelers on board in those areas of the train cars, but there's also more room to store your luggage. There's also, in some cases, refreshments and snacks that are served either at an additional cost or included within the packages. So it all varies depending on where you're traveling to throughout Europe. In this case, Scotland. And what you're looking at here is the Edinburgh Castle. This is actually an active military base. Imagine that, folks. This castle itself is actually an active military base. Now, nearby is Fort William, also located in the beautiful country of Scotland. Inverness, which really is the gateway to Loch Ness, where you'll be treated for a cruise, learn about the Loch Ness Monster. And I will say on some days too, folks, that's the beauty with our trips. They're all independent style vacations, flexible independent travel, which we consider in the travel industry as FIT, if you ever hear that term, FIT, flexible independent travel, which really gives you a good flavor of the area where you'll have some touring and sightseeing included, but also free time as well. And on the cruise, very common to see some great castles along in the distance, such as this one right here. And not too far is the Isle of Skye, another great sights and attraction to visit before ending back in Edinburgh again. So again, you take care of your flights, or your travel advisor can, as well as the entire package, and we'll help put everything else together. Now, moving on to another top 5 destination, of course, it's Italy. Rome, Florence, down into southern Italy, known as the Amalfi Coast. And that's this particular package. Now, this particular trip, folks, begins in the great city of Rome, home of the Colosseum, home of where the gladiators first used to fight one another to the death. Imagine that. It was actually a form of entertainment many, many years ago. And you'll have a guided tour with a local tour guide who will take you through the Colosseum. He or she will also bring you over to St. Peter's Basilica. We'll have a chance to visit the Trevi Fountain, which is also nearby. And they do say, anyone that visits Italy, when you flip a coin over your shoulder, they do say it guarantees a return trip back to Italy. So be sure to do that. Nearby is also the Spanish Steps. And again, as you visit some of these great sites, to have the local tour guide with you during the day is such a great attraction. But keep in mind, you'll have some free time as well before heading up to Florence in the Tuscany region of Italy. My personal favorite area in all of Italy, known for its great cuisine, great wine, great artwork, and some of these beautiful cathedrals. And again, we do include a sightseeing tour, and that's the beauty. On some of these days, you may have a locally guided tour for 2 to 3 hours or a half a day, or in some cases, you may have a full day. But then on another day or a half a day, you'll have free time at leisure to explore on your own, or maybe even extend your trip and head out to San Gimignano, all right, in the Tuscany region. And anybody that has Italy or Germany or any country where they do not speak English, maybe learning a few little keywords such as grazie, thank you, ciao, hello, arrivederci, goodbye, all right, good night, Sorrento. By the way, my last name, Marini, M-A-R-I-N-I. My dad is from Italy, speaks fluent Italian, but I know a few keywords. By the way, any of you that have the Amalfi Coast on your wish list, some of the hairpin turns nestled along the cliffs overlooking the ocean are some of the best feedback that we get from so many folks that travel to this area, as well as my other favorite thing that I love doing, and that's visiting some of the local stores, boutique shops, going to some of those outdoor cafes, getting a cup of cappuccino, a latte, maybe even a cannoli, right? Or some pastry. Any trip can be customized, and that's the beauty, whether it's Italy, Germany, Scotland, or the last 2 trips I'm going to highlight, or any other trips we offer. So if you look in the top left-hand corner, folks, in the yellow lines, you can add on any destination. So if you have extra sites and cities you want to visit, we can easily add those on, or your local travel advisor can add those on. You could take a round trip journey in and out of the same city. So if you're booking flights, you can be able to fly in and out of the same city. You can book a trip in reverse with Railbookers. You can upgrade to first class. You can add on sightseeing tours or even private tours. And yes, you can even stay at a 3, 4, and 5-star hotel all in the same trip. So maybe some of you joining us here today, maybe you have a special anniversary or birthday coming up, or maybe you had it last year and weren't able to celebrate it and want to have something to look forward to next year. Maybe you just want to get out of the house and just go somewhere or plan a trip of a lifetime. You can literally stay at a 3, 4, and 5-star hotel, 5-star being the best and highest quality hotel, all on the same trip. Folks, the last 2 trips out of the top 5, first one is Aix-en-Provence and Avignon from the great city of Paris. We'll have some time, but you'll also have an opportunity to visit Aix-en-Provence. They actually have a great perfumery here. You get a chance to experience and certainly smell all the different perfumes. Nearby is Avignon. The G is silent. Another great area. So keep that in mind if France is on your wish list. And last but certainly not least is Norway. And in this case, Bergen, Flom, and Oslo. Such a great area. And as I mentioned during my presentation this morning on the same destinations, if any of you have ever been to the Canadian Rockies, or if you've ever been to Switzerland, Norway has that same type of majestic scenery with the beautiful snow-capped mountains, the great fishing villages, the people, the cuisine. Bergen is certainly one of those areas where they also have some outdoor markets. That's another fun attraction to take advantage of if you love experiencing some of the local shopping. Now from there, it's over to Flom. Now, how do you get to Flom? Well, this is the highlight of this tour. Not only the scenery and the towns and villages, but also the trains. And this is the Flåmsbana, otherwise known as the Flom Railway. Such a great train, considered one of the top 10 most scenic trains in all of Europe. As you travel through the beautiful countryside, travel through some of the small little quaint villages and towns along the way, with some of the beautiful snow-capped mountains in the distance before arriving in Oslo. Now, Oslo, strong Viking history here. In fact, speaking of history, they have a great history museum located downtown, great museums in Oslo as well as Bergen. Now, folks, we have staff located all over the globe. I happen to be out of the Boston area, but we have folks down under in Australia, across the pond in London, United Kingdom, over the border in Toronto, Ontario, as well as Southern California. So when you are traveling on any Railbookers trips internationally in Europe, Canada, around the world, you have support from our staff located all over the world. Now, this is the part of the presentation, folks, where I always say, if you have a paper, a pen, a camera, an iPhone, a mobile device, this is a slide you want to take a picture of. Or even better, just visit us online, railbookers.com, to learn more about this great special. But since all of you are kind enough to be on today's exciting presentation, well, let me give you the details on how this promotion is working. Now, as you can see, right in the middle, underneath the yellow words that says save up to $350. This special only lasts until the end of the day this Friday. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's how our promotion is operating, okay? Any of you that book any new reservation, has to be new, any new reservation you make, if it's between 3 to 6 nights, you automatically will qualify to save $150 per couple, as long as you book with a small deposit of only $250 per person before the end of this week, before Friday, September 17th, to travel anytime this year, next year, or in 2023. If it's 3 to 6 nights, again, you'll save $150 per couple. If it's 7 to 9 nights, you will save $250 per couple. And if it's 10 or more nights, just like you see right here on the screen, folks, you will save $350 off per couple. And it does not matter when you're traveling. All that matters is as long as you book with that small deposit before the end of the day, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Friday, you'll be able to take advantage of these savings. Now, folks, before I open it up to any great questions that any of you may have, I'm going to give everyone a minute or two. And if you'd be so kind, all right, if you'd be so kind, and thank you, Carla, thank you, Paula, already for those of you that have typed in questions and answers. If you'd be so kind, everyone joining us, just take a minute or two in your question box on the right-hand side of your screen and just type in, what destinations are you considering for your next vacation? All right, so I'm gonna give everyone a couple minutes, all right? And I'd like everyone to just type in, what destinations are on your wish list, your bucket list? Where are you looking to travel to next? All right, so I'm gonna give everyone a minute or two, and then we'll finish off today's presentation before I open it up to any of your questions that you may have. All right, so feel free to type up. Here we go. I'm already getting great answers. Okay, thank you, Donald. Donald is typing, my family and I are already booked to travel to Switzerland and Italy in September of next year. Can't wait. Thank you so much, Donald. Carla, also Italy. Thank you, Carla. Tracy, Spain and Portugal. Fantastic, which again, we didn't even touch on today, but that's another great destination we travel to. Now, here's a good one from Mary. Mary's asking, which is actually not a destination, but Mary's asking, what other luxury train trips do you offer around the world? So since, again, it's a great question. Thank you, Mary. Folks, we offer the train known as the Venice Simplon Orient Express, one of the most upscale, classy trains in the world. That's the train that goes through France, Italy, Switzerland. We offer the Belmont Royal Scotsman. So any of you that have Scotland on your wish list, certainly you have the Jacobite train, which again was famous due to the Harry Potter films, or you have the Belmont Royal Scotsman, which is a 5-star, 5-diamond train that travels throughout Scotland. We also have the Blue Train, which is in South Africa, the Golden Eagle, which is the Trans-Siberian train throughout Russia, the Maharaj Express in India, the Rocky Mountain Air through the Canadian Rockies, Via Rail, which is the national train of Canada where you can upgrade to prestige class, the GON in Australia. I could go on and on. Mary, great question. All right, thank you so much. All right, so my folks, we have tons of answers. So other destinations, I'm seeing another Italy. We have Switzerland, we have France. We also have national parks. Thank you, Steve. Yes, national parks, absolutely. And again, folks, you can book any trips in the United States with our sister brand, Amtrak Vacation. So lots of great options to choose from. So anyway, keep those answers coming. Folks, for any of you that may have joined us a little bit later in today's presentation, we are again open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you want to take advantage of that great special offer we have going on right now, I'm going to go right back to that slide again one more time. Any of you that make a new reservation from today until the end of this Friday, until 7 p.m. this Friday, September 17th, to travel anytime this year, next year, or in 2023, as long as you deposit with a small deposit of only $250 per person before the end of this week to travel anytime this year, next year, or in 2023, you can save up to $350 per couple. There's our phone number in the bottom left-hand corner. Again, as I mentioned, you can also book any of these trips or any others through your local travel advisor who can book any trip. You won't spend a penny extra and can also book flights for you as well. So keep that in mind. All right, with that in mind, I do see we have a couple questions that have come in, which is great. So thank you all again so much for being here. So let's see. So Annabelle, thank you, Annabelle. Annabelle is asking, is she able to fly from Baltimore to Rome and then do a trip from Italy, Spain, Portugal, all in one trip and fly back home? So Annabelle, absolutely. Wherever the trains go, we can take you there. Again, we do not book flights with Railbookers, but you can certainly book your flight, or even better, book through your local travel advisor who can book any of these trips, including flights. and you won't spend a penny extra. All right, so just wanted to mention that. Let's see, Paula. Hello, Paula. Do you need to show a vaccine card to travel on the train in Europe? Great question, Paula. It all depends on which countries you are traveling to. Obviously, many countries in Europe as of today either do require proof of vaccination or some level of quarantine once you arrive, some number of days of quarantine, and it all depends, it all differs based on which countries you are looking to travel to. So the best advice, Paula, I can certainly give you and any of the other great folks joining us here today, oh, and thank you, Norma, for your kind words, is to just either ask one of our rail experts, and again, that phone number is listed in the bottom left-hand corner, based on where you want to go and when, or ask your local travel advisor. He or she, I could tell you, is keeping updated by the day as to any, policies, procedures, proof of vaccinations or tests that may or may not be required. So again, it all depends on where and what countries you're looking to travel to. All right, so I hope that helps, Paula. Thank you. Oh, thank you, David. Thank you, Stacy, for your kind words. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed today's presentation. Again, thank you, Norma. Folks, I'm going to give everyone another minute or so if you have any other questions that you may have. And while I'm waiting for any questions, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. We like making our presentation short and sweet and really just giving you something exciting to look forward to, whether it's in the near future, as early as the fall or spring of this year or spring of next year, or certainly in the near future in 2022 or 2023. So it looks like we got the questions answered. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. And folks, we look forward to having you, your friends, and family on board soon with Railbookers. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.